Our Game Week 1 predictions, that's correct. The new Premier League season is here for the 23-24 season, and we're back predicting the games. Who's happy to see the series back? Smash the like button. I've got this old mug next to me.
Hey, less of the old Theo. I can't believe the season is back.
We've got a massive first guest. It is none other than Manchester United's finest. Mark Goldbridge, how are we doing, my friend?
Really good, really excited for the new season. I can't believe how quick it's gone this summer, and I'm very happy about it. Get the football back, that's what I say.
It's not been that long at all, has it? It's just been the World Cup pushing the season along, no summer break into the first game, which is on Friday night. It's Burnley against Manchester City.
That's my bit, Theo. The first game is Burnley against Manchester City. Now, Theo, the last 11 games between these sides, Man City 40, Burnley 1, 11 wins for Man City.
Oh my God.
Do Burnley have any chance? Because they've made a few signings, haven't they?
Yeah, you can't forget James Trafford. Watching the pre-season games, overall Burnley, I've not been convinced with how they're playing, and their best result was against Benfica, where they beat them 2-0. Wout Weghorst was up top, and today, of recording this video, he was announced to go to Hoffenheim. They've got a few good wingers, Zaroury from Morocco I like, but not enough to beat Manchester City. They're such a powerhouse. They just won the treble. If they make it 4 in a row in Premier League titles, they'll be the first club to do that ever.
Who's going to guard the goal for Manchester City?
Guardiola, guard the goal. That's my thing.
That's not our joke, by the way.
That's my World Cup thing.
That's a Croatian joke.
That's a flag, a Croatian flag that we saw at the World Cup, and now he's guarding Manchester City's goal.
You know what, Theo? I'm going Burnley 0, Manchester City 3.
I'm going Burnley 1, Manchester City 3. Haaland brace, but the first goal of the game will come from Anas Zaroury, the Moroccan for Burnley.
I think Burnley will have a good season. They're very different Burnley to the bloody Burnley. It's all the FIFA clips I used to have. That's not that Burnley anymore. That was a very distinct Burnley. So I think they'll play a different way. I think they'll do well. But this is almost mission impossible. I think Man City are just so much better. I'd probably go. I think if Burnley can score, it'll be good for them. And so I'm going to say 3-1 to Manchester City.
Arsenal against Nottingham Forest. It's the runners-up from last season against the survivors from last season. Now, Nottingham Forest, Theo, opening game of the season, last 4 seasons, lost. And Arsenal got a great home record against this side.
And they've just beaten the treble winners, Manchester City, in a Community Shield game where they looked brilliant. Declan Rice already fit into the midfield. Kai Havertz and Rice about to make their Premier League debut for Arsenal. How are they going to do it?
Well, Declan Rice, it might take him a year to bed in at the new club here, but we know what a quality player he is. But Kai Havertz, that surprised me a bit.
I'm going to make a statement right now. This is where Kai Havertz scores for Arsenal in a real proper match. I know he scored in a friendly. This is when he scores a solid 2-0.
Forest have improved their squad, but Arsenal first game of the season, no chance. It's going to be Arsenal 3, Forest 0.
This could be an absolute annihilation. It's funny, I was doing my podcast with Will, and he said Steve Cooper to be the first manager relegated. And I was like, you know what? That's not a bad call. He was quite safe last year because he was newly promoted. They've got to be good at home, but they're not particularly good at away. Arsenal owe them a beating because they did beat them at the City ground at the end of last season. I think Arsenal will start fast. I think this could be. I'm actually going to go. I've said I wouldn't do this, but I'm going to go 4-0 to Arsenal.
4-0. That's massive.
Sheffield United against Crystal Palace. It's another newly promoted team against a perennial mid-table Londoners, Theo.
Yes.
Now, Sheffield United, I think, have lost the last 3 opening games of the season. Oof. But surely they've got a good chance against Palace.
It's the perfect opening game for them because everything has gone wrong outside of it. They've lost Iliman and Dye, their goal scorer. They haven't strengthened strong enough. I don't even know who their front 11 is going to be. I am so confident that they're going to get relegated. But the funny thing is, they may start off with a win because Crystal Palace are also in a very bad situation. Fullbacks of Nathaniel Klein and Joel Ward, and then Zaha.
Now, Austin Trusty has come in for Sheffield United. 24-year-old centre-back, ex-Arsenal, a USA international.
Might be solid. I can't comment much. I've never watched the guy. But
that's the problem,
that's the truth. I'm going to sit on the fence here. Wouldn't surprise me if the Blades nick it. Can't wait to hear their anthem before the game starts again back in the Prem. I'm going to go 1-1.
I've gone 1-1 as well.
We agree for the first time in this video. Ollie McBurney to score. Let's go over to Goldbridge.
I predicted on my Premier League predictions that Crystal Palace would go down. Now, I'd had a few pints, but I've got to stand by it. And I also think Sheffield United are going down for the reason you just said. I can't stand this. Happens every now and again. A team gets promoted, then they sell players that got them promoted. So they're basically weaker than they were in the Championship, and you can't do that in the Prem because they're at home, first game, get a massive bounce. I'm going to go for another draw. I'll go 1-1 with that one.
AFC Bournemouth against West Ham United. It's the team that surprised everyone last season by surviving against the champions of Europe there. Well, the Conference League, but you know what I mean.
And then they surprised everybody again by sacking Gary O'Neill, which I thought he did a very good job. What do you think with Andoni Iraola? A lot of people online saying he's going to be special. Can he really save Bournemouth and even improve them?
It's a very good question. Talking of managers, Theo, David Moyes never loses to Bournemouth in the Premier League.
Seriously?
It has never happened. And also, have you always noticed, Bournemouth always play at home first game of the season.
Carnage.
It's happened 6 seasons running.
They've avoided defeat on the opening day since 2017, which is an incredible record.
It is superb, Theo. Now, Bournemouth have spent 70 million euros on 4 players, and it's going to be hard to judge them pre-season.
We got to add as well that they've lost their Colombian beast of a midfielder to Palace, Jefferson Lerma. Let's go over to West Ham because they've lost Declan Rice, 105 million. It is the Premier League record transfer, but it's away from them and it's weakened them. And their business, David Moyes seems to be getting pretty annoyed with the board that the business isn't done yet. The replacements, where are they?
Well, I'll tell you what, getting £105 million for Declan Rice is good business. He's a very good player, but he's not a £100 million player.
Yeah.
So good business. And also, Theo, when you're going to spend 30, 40, 50 million, you've got to do it right. No, you can't rush these things.
You can't, but you can't also affect their Premier League form. They're losing out on having them in major matches that could, at the end of the table, could be vital to European spots or even relegation if we're talking about them this year. I'm going to go Bournemouth 2, West Ham 1.
I'm just going to go 1-1 here, Theo.
Yeah, you're doing a bit of a Roy Keane. If you don't know him, don't back him.
You know what? This is a cracking one to watch on Match of the Day on Saturday night because, you know, Bournemouth with this new manager that a lot of the hipsters say is really good, they could just tear West Ham apart. But I'm actually going to go away win. I'm going to go 2-1 to West Ham, but it's so hard to predict that one.
Brighton and Hove Albion against Luton Town, Theo. It's the South Coast flair merchants against the surprise package of the league. And it's 40 years since these two sides met in the Premier League, Theo.
I'm so excited. Luton Town in the Premier League. Are they going to have a chance? I mean, overall squad value, they are completely done and dusted on paper, right?
Well, I'll tell you what, most people are going to say an easy win for Brighton, but look at how they did against the newly promoted teams last season. They lost 3 times, drew once and won twice. Of course, Brighton have lost Alexis McAllister, they've lost the goalkeeper Sanchez, but they brought in a couple of players, Theo, including João Pedro from Watford and Mahmoud Dahoud.
Watch out for Adringa and Mitoma on the wings, and they're going to help Brighton win 2-0.
I reckon it's just going to be Brighton 2, Luton 0.
We agree. Over to GOLDBRIDGE.
I just don't see it with Luton. I don't see any signings that make me think, wow, I don't see it at all. And actually, I think Brighton will beat them quite comfortably because they're such a good team, and I think they've bought well again, even though players that people won't have heard of that will suddenly be household names very quickly. I mean, I might be being conservative, but I'm going to go 3-0 Brighton. They might get more.
Everton against Fulham now. These are two teams who might be in a relegation scrap within a few months. Let's find out. So this is a really crucial game.
It is.
But talk to me about Everton, Theo.
Danjuma debut, Sean Dyche, I'm excited for. I think they're going to be okay. If we go over to Marco Silva's Fulham, it's all about Mitrovic. He said he's never going to play for them again. I mean, that is horrible.
No, it is, Theo. Now, Everton, interestingly, open day of the season, the last 11 years, they've only lost once. No team draws more on the opening day of the season than Everton. Now, Fulham have been really good against Everton recently. Raul Jimenez, that worries me a little bit because he's not going to score goals for you.
João Palhinha, he's injured. That's a massive loss. I'm going to go 2-1, Danjuma to score in his debut.
I'm going to go 1-0 to Everton, which will be a crucial win.
You've been roasting Everton, now you're backing them.
I'm going to go for a draw with that one, 1-1. I think both teams will struggle to score goals for obvious reasons. Everton didn't last year, and you mentioned Mitrovic, so I'll go 1-1 that one. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Newcastle United against Aston Villa. Statistically, this is the biggest game of the day, Theo.
Massive.
Both of these teams in Europe, and both of them have done a lot in the transfer window. But recently, you've got to go back 15 games before Aston Villa beat Newcastle.
Yeah, well, first of all, let's talk about Newcastle dad, Sandro Tonali, Premier League debut. How is he going to do? The Milan man is here.
I am very, very impressed by that signing. He's 23 years old. He smashed at AC Milan. That is exactly the sort of signing that Newcastle need to do. This is a player who could be there for 5 years or more, Theo, but also Harvey Barnes. Really impressed by that. I've always liked this guy. He'll get you a contribution every other game, and that was for Leicester.
Aston Villa. Unai Emery is the man of surprises.
Yes.
And he strengthened Moussa Diaby. Over 50 million spent on that new winger. The Frenchman at Bayer Leverkusen was one of the quickest footballers I've ever watched live ever. Then they got Pau Torres at the back, and he was being linked with Barcelona and Real Madrid, and he's gone to Villa.
And add to that, you've got Yuri Tielemans. That's a very good free transfer.
On a free transfer?
Yeah. I'm going to go for a real classic here, but it's going to be Newcastle 2, Aston Villa 1.
I think Ollie Watkins will sneak a goal for Villa. He always does, set up by Diaby on the wing. But it's going to be Newcastle with 2 goals as well. So we agree, both saying 2-1.
I'm straight away, I'll get quickly in with this. I'm going to go 2-0 to Newcastle, because I think that it's a great game. Villa have got so much momentum from last year. I think they've bought well. But I've got to go with the fact that Newcastle at home are incredible.
Brentford against Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, Theo. It's a London derby. It's West London against North London. It's the new upstarts against the aristocrats of the league. Now, this could be a fantastic game, couldn't it?
I'm delighted about it. Brentford always start and shock, don't they? On the opening game previously, do you remember when they smashed Manchester United? Do you remember when they beat Arsenal on the Friday night game?
Yes.
It always has a surprise. Now they're playing Tottenham. Now, Spurs have a new manager. How do you think that's going to go with Ange Postecoglou? Do you believe in him?
Well, it's a tough one, isn't it? Because he was fantastic at Celtic, Theo, but that is the Scottish League. You've only got 2 teams in that. No disrespect to the others.
It's very different.
So, good luck to him, Theo. And also, speaking to Australian friends, he was pretty good down in Australia. But I look to Brentford. What do you think about their business? They brought in Nathan Collins. They brought in Schade from Freiburg.
Well, Schade had a few features. He's still young. He's going to have to improve very quickly because Ivan Toney's out till, January, February time. So he's going to get a lot more game time. We've got Wissa and Buemo and Schade. They're all proven at Brentford to be the ones to get the goals, and I think they will. They've kept the core of their team, and that's important, Dad.
Yes.
Harry Kane, Dad, he's had 4 offers from Bayern Munich. Over 100 million now, they're waiting for another. Is he going to go or stay?
Well, Theo, I'm amazed that the owner will not accept 100 million for a player who's got 1 year left on his contract.
Carnage, right?
So really, it's got to be all about keeping Harry Kane for that year and extending his contract. That's got to be the end game, hasn't it, for Daniel Levy? I love the fact that they brought in James Maddison. I've always been a massive fan of him.
The 2 problems for Spurs was that creativity and bringing in a centre-back who's good on the ball. They've got Mickey van der Veen now and James Maddison. But this one, I want to go for a surprise. Brentford 2, Tottenham 1.
I'm going for 4 goals here. Brentford 2, Spurs 2.
Wow.
Obviously, Brentford haven't got Tony, but they're very good at home. They're well organised. They won games without him last year. They'll be competitive. We don't know what Spurs we're going to get. It's a new manager. I'm going to go with a Brentford win, and I'm going to go 2-1.
Chelsea against Liverpool.
Yes.
This is going to be a proper, tasty, moody
Naughty
encounter, isn't it? Between 2 teams who aren't in the Champions League this season, but hope to be this season. Now, I'm going to read out the players who've left Chelsea, Theo.
Go on.
Kai Havertz, Mason Mount, Mateo Kovacic, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Christian Pulisic. Would you have kept any of those players?
Koulibaly, Edouard Mendy.
And others.
Forgot so many first-teamers. It's a completely new squad. Is it going to fit? Well, they've got a good manager to make it all work. Pochettino, he's coming in at the right time with a new squad. I think positivity is going to be back in that camp. It's going to be higher than it's ever been before under Todd Bowley's ownership. We've already seen the likes of Mudryk and Nico Jackson in pre-season smashing it. So they're going to be key if they're going to do anything against Liverpool. The problem with Liverpool is Jurgen Klopp is so consistent and the team looks so solid. The only gap in that team is the midfield.
Well, I mean, Soboslai's come in, McAllister's come in. Could either of those push into those places?
Well, I think McAllister's more of an 8, and they don't have a 6 right now. They're going to have to use someone like Tyler Morton or maybe move Trent into... I think Trent will stay at right back. Conor Bradley's injured right now, so we're not going to see too much change around. I'm confident, but I think this could be a goal-crazy game. I favoritise Liverpool overall. My score prediction is Chelsea 1, Liverpool 2.
2-1 to Liverpool.
We're agreeing a lot in this video.
I'm sorry about this, Theo.
Over to GOLDBRIDGE.
They've got so many good players, Liverpool, that surely can't perform like they did last year. And then Chelsea are completely hard to predict. We just don't know. That Jackson guy up front's had a good pre-season, but it's pre-season. I think Liverpool have probably got more predictability about them than Chelsea at the moment. So I'm just going to go away win, tight game, 1-0 Liverpool.
And finally, Manchester United against Wolverhampton Wanderers. This is a game that Man United will expect to win. Now, talk to me about Højlund, Theo. 75 million euros. You look at the stats and think, is he worth that?
Well, he's young, he's exciting. The scouts clearly know more than us. Problem is right now, he's injured. He's not going to play in this game.
I know, Theo.
What they should be excited about, though, is Mason Mount.
Yes.
Bruno Fernandes. How are they fit them together? I'm unsure. Give me your answer, Dad. Are United going to smash Wolves? Because Wolves are in a mess. Lopetegui's gone. Just yesterday, He's walked out the club.
Yes.
How can you leave a club just before the season's about to start?
What?
You're leaving them in a complete mess.
Well, you look at the players who've gone out the door, Theo. Ruben Neves, Nathan Collins, Connor Cody and Adama Traore. Cunha's come in, but I'm not convinced by that. It's 50 million euros for someone who's obviously not tested in the Premier League. Now, Man United should win this game. I've no doubt of that. But I'm not sure about their season. I'm not sure they've done enough business in the transfer window. Anana, very sensible. Mason Mount, very good business.
Good, yeah.
But they need to do more.
I'm going to go big here. One of my biggest scorelines, Manchester United 3, Wolves 0.
Man United should win this game comfortably. I nearly went 1-0. I'm going to go 2-0 in this game.
2-0,
to
which
Man
means
United.
we all go different. Over to Goldbridge for the final game.
I mean, I think most teams should be beating Wolves if they've got them at the opening game of the season at home. I don't think it's a difficult game at all. So it should be anywhere between 2 and 5-0, but I'll probably be conservative because we've got striker issues and say 2-0 United.
Oh, I can't believe you've got Goldbridge for game week 1, Theo.
But we're starting high, Thog Dad. Smash the like button if you like that recruitment that we've done on the first day. Remember, don't forget to join the Fantasy Premier League team. This is your final chance to do it before the deadline. Once the game week starts, your points won't be loaded into the league until the week after. So if you want to end up winning or getting prizes, finishing top 5, you have to enter now. Get down there super quick.
Right, you've heard our waffle, but what do you think? How is your team going to do? Get your predictions down there. See ya.